early on in the draft in game number 1 here by Cloud9. Getting some information gathered. I have to say, big props to BDD for the Aatrox pick and starting out some of the early advantages for the team that they were able to snowball.
Yeah, C9 have chosen blue side. GENG are going to stick to the bans. LeBlanc, TF coming in, expecting an Irelia ban, but now C9 get first choice of bot lane. We saw them run the Ziggs, but with Aphelios and Nami down, that spells an MF first pick.
Banning away for jungle there too, banning the Jarvan. No possible answer this time around. Kennen plus the Jace both left open, so if they don't hard commit to so much AD and so much all in early, still have that blindable.
There's the MF. C9 gonna lock that one in. Irelia is up. GENG did ban that last time around. Maybe Perkz fancies it. Maybe GENG wanna opt into it, but they're gonna have to match bot lane for now, you'd expect. And still a lot of OPs up and available. Lee Sin. I think C9 probably want to prioritize that if GENG don't take it away, and it looks like they are.
With the Jarvan taking off the board, Clid running out of picks that generally we look at as Clid comfort picks. The Lee Sin, certainly one of them, has now opted to go for that. Well, alongside Rascal picking the Rakan, a ton of playmaking and engage potential already on this GENG lineup.
That spells Leona as well, doesn't it, for C9, you'd imagine?
Or Nautilus.
Yeah, MF Leona, MF Nautilus into the Rakan, match jungle. Maybe Blabber wants to go into Sinzao. Maybe Leona Sinzao could come out here unless they want to early rotate the Irelia.
I think it's just such a positive duo to roam around the map looking for kills too. You can open up Vulcan. You saw his roaming percentage pop up in the last game. Definitely has been one to try and move early.
Ooh, Poppy we've seen have a lot of success at Worlds here.
And is so good into everything showing from GENG. Both Lee Sin and the Rakan, super good at shutting down some of these engages. Allows them to play the front line there.
So now it's solo lanes for both teams. Ruler going to pick up Jhin because if he goes 4-5 with AD carry, that's going to be a lot of AD carries banned. If they take away Jhin Kai'Sa, he's going to be forced on things like Ezreal, which is not what you want to do. Mid lane still being targeted here from both these teams. C9, you'd imagine, are going to blind pick mid and top, of course. GENG probably saving last pick for top lane.
Yeah. Have to debate what the options are going to be, but interesting to see the Jhin now locked in for Ruler. Last game, he was the star of the show in the final minutes, did very well in the laning phase alongside Life, but this is not the hyper carry that we are used to seeing him on. Much more utility he's going to need to look to enable the other members on his team.
Well, continuing on with the solo lane bans here, though, because it is going to have to be probably either BDD snatching up one of his champions or Rascal showing early on the blind for GENG. So they're deciding between, do we further whittle down on BDD or do we cover our bases? Since Jace is banned out, you kind of have to take away the Kennen.
Ooh, there's a Graves maybe. Syndra Graves, I think, are what GENG might be looking at because they banned Jace Irelia. A really good response from C9 to ban out Kennen, because those two champions do well into the champion. So maybe that's something they want to fourth pick because then C9 don't have a response, but Graves picked up. That's going to be a Malphite Sylas insta-locked for C9.
Yeah, and they've put Fudge back on Malphite duty here. They have had pretty good success here in the LCS with this rotation. Plus, they're expecting either the Zoe or the Syndra to come out for BDD.
You're completely right. There it is. Syndra picked up. And the reason I like this Malphite pick is because you see the enemy top laner and they have Jhin, Lee Sin, Graves. Not very good tank killers. Jhin especially not a great tank killer. So the Malphite will get a lot of value here as the only AP damage is the Syndra. So it feels like C9 have drafted a composition really to shut GENG's down.
It's completely different than game number 1 opening draft here from Cloud9. I like the adjustment from the coaching staff. Playing the full best of 5, you get opportunities to test out which angle you want to go for. Last time, so much more all in, so much more one-dimensional. This one has a lot more robust mid-game team fighting, a lot of answers here to what GENG are talking about. And to your point about Syndra, she's also very much single target burst, going to look for those stuns onto the Misfortune and try and get your ult out. So Malphite probably won't even be taking much chip damage from this champion.
Yeah, when you look at both drafts, C9 have great team fight. The problem is their lanes will be getting pushed in, right? Sylas and Malphite will be getting pushed in versus the Graves and versus the Syndra. So if GENG can't find early leads, I feel like Cloud9's team fighting is just so one-dimensional, so simple, that they should come out ahead if they get good setup around objectives.
But I absolutely love the adjustment. Complete shift, as you already highlighted. Now they are the team that needs to weather the storm. We know GENG has a strong early game. Can they make big leads? Can they press their advantages? So much CC, so much setup. Can they make it work in the early game? Because when this Malphite gets going, when this Poppy gets going, when there's a Sylas in the mid lane taking away ults, you know Cloud9 have the tools that they need to come out on top in these team fights.
Yep, they've got Poppy to try and play bouncer to the Rakan, to the engage of GENG for later. create some space for Misfortune to be able to channel ultimate. And probably the biggest threatening thing to the Misfortune going to be that long-range Syndra stun.
And just like you talked about, Kobe, the Syndra is so kind of single target damage champion. All of GenG are very single target damage champions. If they can get the kill onto Malphite or Poppy and start to move forwards, they will win the fight. But C9 have so much zone control with Malphite ultimate, Poppy knockaways, Sylas taking away, Rakan ultimates, MF Leona. There's so many ways that they can control zones around these objectives. So GenG have to be careful, but if they can pick the right target and move forward slowly, then there is a world where they can start to contest despite not having setup.
I wonder too if both of them are going to start topside, because Klid definitely has a clear path to try and make plays off of Rakan Jhin. So much setup for him down there, and Leona generally trying to play it super aggressively as well. Being a typical pretty good answer to Rakan, trying to stun him as soon as he goes in. So Klid probably start red, head down towards bottom side, see if you can make any early pass at the Scuttle Crab, and if they can get the push.
Yeah, I feel like GenG should have 3 lanes of push. Sven's not running the Comet, and I think Sylas and Malphite will get pushed in. Meelee's into ranged. So I imagine GenG will have 3 pushing lanes. Maybe Blabber can just kind of mismatch what Klid is doing, but it looks like they're going to match. So Blabber should have an issue. He might have an issue trying to take away Scuttle Crabs. He might get double crab this game. We'll have to see what happens, but it's not the end of the world.
Since Klid is actually crossing now to blue quadrant start, he could easily just go for a big stack wave here on Malphite. Graves easily can control the wave here versus Fudge and really try and punish him. A lot of the times, yeah, you want to just easily pick Malphite into a lot of these AD matchups and soak up and weather the storm early on, but that can be a real opportunity for GenG.
And that's how you naturally shut down Malphite in these lanes. Is you stack a big wave, you dive him level 3, level 4, you get his TP out, and then your top laner can consistently keep the push while having a TP advantage, right? The problem is their setup is not great for a dive. They have no lockdown CC, and Graves' auto attacks can be dodged pretty easily. So we'll keep our eyes out for it.
Age Ruler going to get the 4th shot off, but immediately we're going to see Cloud9 stepping forward. Sven and Vulcan going to back away. Much better early trades than in the previous game.
See if Blabber tries to early cross. Yeah, he's skipping his Krugs in order to get up to top quadrant early to try and ward for Fudge to allow him to at least see an advance if they do want to bring in the extra reinforcements for building on the wave and diving. Perks, of course, is going to get pushed in as well on the Sylas here, trying to trade your life for your minion wave constantly in the early stages here.
Yeah, Sylas naturally works by, if he wants to get the push past level 3, level 4, he has to trade his HP for it. And then he trades aggressively and catches the wave afterwards. Blabber could do a path here where he does blue wolves into bot crab and then make sure he doesn't get double crabbed here, but Fudge is really low. We talked about the early dives and the early stacking waves. Klid won't be in here in time, you imagine. Fudge is really low.
I also want to point out, since Klid is definitely going to continue farming here, not going to be the wave timing, that the deep ward that VDD put towards Raptors does still provide them that value, so they know if you try and make the play on top side, Poppy is there for a blocker, so be very careful about trying to set that one up, and GenG not going to look for the risk. Crabs spawning now, though.
Yeah, Klid is hovering around mid. They have got good kill pressure. Syndra leads him. We saw Damwon run this exact same comp. Blabber is doing as we expected. He goes bot to top, and then he backtracks down to bot side because he knows Klid is getting this top grab. He has no mid, no top push, so he won't get double crabbed.
Blabber about to be spotted. Of course, no camps on the top side for Lee Sin to take, but can provide a little bit more pressure there. Blabber finally spotting out that ward, will opt to take it away. And of course, in the meantime, mid lane pressure being kept up in our Mercedes-Benz featured matchup. Perks and BDD can be the huge difference makers for both their team. For Perks now, though, he just has to survive, and that might be difficult if Klid comes over this. Whoa! Gets in!
Oh, he cancels it!
Cancels it! Does he get a kill back? No! Klid just barely surviving.
Yeah, good timing on the stun there, knowing that the Lee Sin is going to take it in, but perfect stun from BDD, lining that one up as Perks tries to dash away, hits him through the line. First blood in the hands of Klid.
The wave is in such a good state here for GenG. They could TP top if they have a good top wave and dive Fudge. BDD could use his TP top because they have a cannon wave, and they were pinging the cannon wave coming into top right now. We'll see if they do opt to go for it, but Perks had vision when Klid was showing. Does end up falling. Nice little try there. There's the TP top. BDD's going for it. They are going to go for the top dive. We don't see top wave, but it's probably stacking up. Fudge might just be dead here.
Yeah, he's definitely...
He has to flash the stun.
Hard for Graves to contribute in this exchange, and also gets knocked away from the tower. All too easy. Clean from BDD and Rascal.
Yeah, we talked about GenG having these pushing lanes, and there it is. They get TP advantage mid, they transfer to top. Now Fudge will have to TP back top, and Rascal can save his TP. So this early game for GenG with pushing lanes, they're playing it to perfection to get a lead.
And you know the whole time Cloud9 have to play catch up here. They're not going to have any extra resources to pull off those counter attacks that we saw GenG do last time around when they were the ones with the extra security. So once again, we're in a game where extra global is in the hands of GenG. and it's so difficult here for Cloud9 to try and play it aggressively.
Look at the ward behind Sven and Vulcan. If they try to push this next wave in, they're going to get TP'd on by Rascal, so GenG have so many tools to work with. C9's bot lane already kind of thinking about it, have to be careful. Rascal might just TP back top though, so C9 will get information.
Yeah, it's good communication until they get that extra global out and they know that there's no extra threat.
Now they go aggressive.
Just trade back and forth. Vulcan's base would have gotten canceled anyway. So stepping away, but Ruler pushing forward. Both AD carries relatively low on mana. But Boots and 3 pots alongside a Biscuit means Ruler's sitting pretty comfortable here. Is going to get forced out the cleanse. Sven now getting aggressive. Always got left his auto attacks. Life trying to find the disengage, but keeping GenG's bot lane in lane for now.
Yeah, Sven tried to use the heal to gap close onto Ruler, but Ruler's running Fleet and Boots, so he got the move speed buff and just ran straight away. He has PTA, Sven, so he wants to look for these all-ins. Comet for the push, PTA for the all-ins. Again, BDD moving topside. Fudge is going to have to drop this wave, I think.
Fudge, so hard for him to survive in this context. Yes, the tower will block the auto attacks, but they're just collapsing. They're just denying waves. The Malphite's getting nothing.
It's the best way to play against Malphite. They're trying to get through the lane. You don't let them soak up any experience, any extra minions up there. It does mean bottom side, you have to overload as Cloud9. You see Poppy trying to do the same thing to the bottom lane of GenG.
This hurts, doesn't it? Fudge can't even walk up. He has Spellbook, and you can see on the top left, he swapped to Exhaust. He fancied himself maybe a 1v2 on the tower with the Exhaust, but it's just a trade-off. Malphite's losing resources, Graves is getting ahead. Same thing on the bottom side. GenG's bot lane is going to be forced to back off. But they're on a timer. It's a 2v2 if Blabber walks away.
And there's another timer here. The objective's not synced up on side of the map, so there's still extra time for Rift Herald to spawn. Meanwhile,
Ulti goes in, stun connects Clid with the follow-up. Easy follow-up. Clid grabbing another kill in the mid lane. BDD and Clid on fire.
BDD has Perks' number this game. Stun after stun. There's a reason he was in the music video.
I have to say, GenG is playing beautifully through mid here. You see, Blabber is around, might find Clid, but Clid is level 6. He could just insta-kick him here.
Blabber trying to walk away from this one. Can't obviously deny the engage with the steadfast presence. So we'll just walk away there. But of course, BDD keeping pressure up in the mid lane. Perks with no TP means he's going to at least lose a little bit here. But the cannon means that he will be back just in time.
Yeah, Clid has been playing beautifully through mid. 2 times he's visited the lane, 2 times he's got a kill. And when he doesn't visit, he helps BDD move towards top to dive Fudge, to zone him away. So this early game, fantastic from GenG.
And you have to remember, for Clid, this is personal. When he was on T1, got beat by Perks. When he was on T1 in Worlds, got beat by Perks. Last year in quarterfinals, beaten by Perks. He's getting a nice bit of revenge here in Game 2.
I want to focus too on BDD because he's been such a big component of GenG getting into this position. So many big victories with the Zoe, and when he first came into the LCK, he was heralded as the big challenger to Faker, and yet more recently gets overshadowed by Showmaker, gets overshadowed by the rest of the big mid laners in LCK, and yet he's performing such a critical role for the team.
Yeah, 2016 he came in onto CJ Enters. Perks also started his debut in a major region in the LCS in 2016 as well. Both players been playing the same amount of time in their respective leagues. And just like you said, it feels like 2017, 2018, Kingzone was the kind of glory days for BDD, but he's making a statement here at World 2021.
Now, though, to take a chance to look in on the map, 2K gold lead in favor of GenG in this early game. Really the focus in the previous match this time. Still getting a little bit of attention, but it's the mid lane that has really been shut down by the side of GenG. Sven did get a few tower plates, does get some gold back. He may need to be the member on the side of C9 to step up in this matchup. Yeah,
I think a big thing to take away right now is C9 have the Herald. They actually took it away from GenG, so Blabber can use that on any lane he wishes, and bot tower has 3 plates left. So yes, GenG have this topside pressure, but if Blabber can get towards bot, they should be able to get themselves first tower of the game for Sven, and that'll weather the gold lead a little bit. And obviously going into teamfights, we expect C9 to have more control, but GenG are going to be a single target damage composition, and if they're ahead and they can take someone down and make it a 5v4 from the get-go, they will be favored. Clid still playing around mid.
Exactly. This is how the early stages are theoretically supposed to play out. Maybe not so many kills towards the mid lane, but you know, Cloud9 trying to weather the storm here till they can group up and have that dedicated front line. Until then, front line on top side of the map is kind of hung out to dry. GenG, though, with a stop on bottom side, will be able to get this dragon even with vision.
Yeah, they saw Blabber on the top grab. They'll trade that for a Drake. Mid-wave being contested here.
He jumps out.
Perks stolen ultimate. A lot of damage going down, but Perks will walk out alive.
Clid jumped out of the dragon pit to go further zone Sven here as they watched him walk back from the tower.
Yeah, Fudge has exhaust. I think he needs to pop that on Rascal soon to get his TP back up, because that should be coming up soon and he needs it if they're going to play towards the bot side of the map. Blabber basing will move out towards bot side to try and contest this bot tier 1 with Herald. We'll see if Fudge uses it to make sure he can have that TP up and available. There it is. Does use it there, so he will have TP.
Perk's gonna get caught out, gonna get locked up. There's too much chain CC. He gets to push W, but very little else. GENG with a clean kill.
River control for GENG, and they find Perks again. Cloud9 have lost their chess piece in the middle. They have lost any authority going for, any type of teleport towards the bottom side of the map, and they continue to have to wait.
Yeah, GENG just keep playing through mid, shutting down Perks. It means that they can control both side lanes. Yes, Fudge used Exhaust and swapped the TP, but they're focusing on Perks the whole game long. Feels like Klid's behind BDD on every single mid wave, and Life's always there to respond. Herald's just gonna run out and be used in mid. Maybe GENG could stick around and stop this from crashing, but BDD needs to base yes TP. Klid is behind him. I think they can shut this Herald down. The wave's coming in. Perks no TP. Does arrive in time.
They do have support roam here for Vulcan. He's up at the wave, but this wave has to be cleared out pretty quickly as the reset from GENG's bottom side is going. Ushering it up here to get the charge off.
Yep, should crash. A little bit of an awkward stare down there. As I say that, the eye gets hit. Klid has smite as well. They could full commit this if they want to. There it is, the full commit.
Go it. Does not interrupt the dash in from the Poppy, and they take away the charge. That's 360 gold that Cloud9 are not going to get. And now Blabber, he's going to pay for it with his life. This is disaster for C9. Absolute dominance for GENG.
This is just GENG W after GENG W. Smite kill on the Herald and taking down the jungler afterward. No smite or no flash used from Blabber to get out of there either, as Klid just jumped in on him.
Yeah, BDD and Klid are doing all the work GENG need in this early game, moving top to help Rascal out, making sure Life's unlocked on the map. Ruler's just catching waves and he's even in CS. The whole map is theirs once again, as we saw in game 1. GENG winning out on this early game.
I mean, this is one of the things you really want to see from the side of GENG, them being able to
BDD's TP again.
Pressure ahead with their advantages every time with the extra cooldown.
Fudge, ulti ignite, they have to play this one smart, but for now, BDD just zoning him away. Looks like they're gonna be happy with just the tower. Malphite going in with the ultimate, the ignite going down as well. Fudge, nice sidestep, but does not dodge the stun. Blabber now stepping forward, just trying to get something, anything back. Rascal, though, with the Immortal Shield Bow, makes it pretty easy for him to walk away from this one. The tower will live, but Fudge drops.
BDD is single-handedly carrying GENG in this early game. Yes, Klid's made some great plays, but his wave control around mid, the resources GENG are putting in him from jungle, he's just snowballing the top side of the map so perfectly.
It's the coordination. When you're handed so many advantages for the early game with all pushing lanes and the extra jungle pressure around mid actually opening up, and yeah, BDD set him up with all those stuns for the early kills, but he was there and everybody moving to complete on the play. Once again, more harassment on Perks.
Klid getting aggressive. Looks like he fancies himself a 1v1. Perks just going to kick him right back out. Sonic Wave will not reconnect. There'd be no re-engage there.
Now, eyes for the next play. They have the teleport ready from Rascal as well to be able to answer. 2 minutes left on Mountain Dragon to spawn. And they've actually finished up on the bottom side with both Gale Forces as well. So plenty of CC coming through. Life starting to roam with Klid. Ultimate available pretty quickly here. And the flash.
The good thing for GENG is top will win in isolation. C9 have to play bot side. It's the only real winning lane that they have. They need to play through mid though, and GENG are shutting that down, taking away their bot side jungle. Top will win in isolation. Rascal 2 levels up. C9 need to force GENG out.
And the thing is, because they're winning topside so hard, they also can teleport first there with Rascal, because there's no Malphite ultimate, so there's no way for him to stop a teleport, stop an extra play, and they just get wins on both sides.
Cloud9 being bled out of this game. This is a 6K gold lead, rather 5K gold lead at 14 minutes into the game. Tower plates will fall as GENG find themselves with a massive, massive advantage. In the previous game, Cloud9, they found a mid-game skirmish. They found a way to come back. They're going to need to dig even deeper here in Game 2 to get back into this one.
And look what Rascal's doing. He's repaying the favor to BDD. All he's going to do now is push in top and move towards mid, so Perks has to play even more scared, take away camps, get deep vision as to where Blabber is, so that unlocks the rest of the map. So this top tower falling, Rascal in isolation can just keep pushing and controlling the whole map.
They're literally taking everything from Cloud9. They're pillaging the jungle, taking the towers, taking the dragons. 45 seconds left on this one. As you're talking about Rascal with the extra deep vision here, he can push another wave.
God.
First move, it's an absolutely dominating performance.
He's almost 3K gold up in 14 minutes.
And gentlemen, this is so important for the side of GENG. because they have not been a team that has performed in quarterfinals. They have not been a team that's performed internationally in best of 5. But game 1 and now in game 2, they're looking dominant. Redemption is what we heard from the desk at the start of the day. Redemption for GENG, and while they're not there yet, this is a damn fine start.
Yeah, we thought GENG would win the early game, and they did, but they're winning it way harder than you expected. I think C9 have to start doing something soon, otherwise they're going to get bled out. These towers are going to start to fall, mid tower will fall, and C9 needs to start contesting objectives. You can see they have some kind of setup around the bot side of the map. Blabber might start up that dragon, and Fudge has TP and ult up available now, so we'll see what C9 opt to do, but Rascal's just soloing this Herald.
No, the eye is gonna, nope, not gonna open. There you go, got it down. Is he gonna just take it away? Who actually got that?
Rascal got it, I believe. We'll get the buff as well.
All right,
so
walk him away.
they can pop that mid right away and then run to Dragon as well. It feels like the stars are lining here for GENG. They're playing so well, so coordinated.
Fudge moving back to top side. He does have teleport available, but there's not really any good wards to teleport in on. So again, Cloud9 have to cede control of the map.
So massive now for GENG. Absolute control, moving down again, taking every single objective.
They have to give up on this dragon for sure. Look at this. GENG are even not going to overextend resources. They won't even let Fudge push up to the tower. They send Rascal immediately back to top side. You have full control. Go collect the wave. Get the dragon as well.
And to add salt to the wound, Rascal saved Herald, so if C9 overcommit and Fudge TPs towards bot, Rascal can pop Herald top and get a tier 2 for himself and keep snowballing this 1v1 matchup, which will be isolated over side. And GENG, all they need to do now is crack open bot tier 1. We'll see how they choose to do it, but BDD has TP. He can TP on that ward Clid just put down, but it looks like with life in base and Rascal just catching top waves, they're just going to slow it down a bit and wait for bases to come in.
What can Cloud9 do? They've got flash ready on Fudge too. Sometimes, you know, in the later stages, it's hard to get your Malphite ults off actually, so it's important when you do have flash to be able to go for the flash one so your opponents can't react to it. And they're going to rely on him plus Leona finding some big engage to turn the tables in this game, because GENG are just running away with it.
And Fudge is going to be strong if we go late enough in this game. Lord Dominic's is certainly going to make it very difficult. This Rascal has that at 16 minutes, but full armor against 380 sources on the opposite side. He'll be tanky, he will hit hard, but he just has to survive. They can't afford to fall any further behind. But saying that, GENG, total control of the map, continuing to push their vision line forward, continuing to push out their side lanes. And the only thing GENG are sad about right now is the fact that Baron is not up and available. Sven is going to Gale Force out. The Charm's still going to connect, but the knock will miss, and that is crucial.
The big thing for GENG is don't make a mistake. Don't give C9 a 5v5. Don't give them a numbers advantage fight. Just make sure you control all waves, keep them all pushed in. Don't overextend and play for dragons. They're going to keep double side control. Here's the double TP from C9. Can they find anything? This is a miracle play if they can.
Blabber trying to fish for something, but the flash out takes him to safety. Fudge looking for an opportunity. Clid waiting in the darkness, can't go back for the kick, is going to focus, kicking the Poppy back into the team, trying to delete it before the fight even starts. Fudge not even a chance to ultimate quite yet. Sven's ulti really not hitting anybody. Perks now set to fall. A bit of a heal now coming out, trying to walk away with the snare. Can they turn it back? Yes. Clid now down. They're running away. They're trying to fight into the pinch. Fudge waiting at his opportunity, but he runs away with the ult and dies to the Syndra anyway. Sven has to run for his life. GENG in total control.
And they've got Rift Herald. That means you can immediately activate it. Just pin down Vulcan. Nowhere for him to go. That's going to be 2 on the bottom side.
Yeah, that's going to be 2 towers as well. You expect C9's dead, no TPs. That was the last real stand play that they had to stop GENG's siege on all towers. And we saw how GENG just picked them off one by one, isolating Blabber first and then Perks. Yes, Clid died, but a 4-for-1 and 2 towers.
I mean, with the extra vision coverage, that control ward in Tribrush for Clid to just sit on, waiting as Cloud9 come walking back and just kicking Blabber right in to the first bullet from Ruler, and they burst him down, make him look like a squishy champion.
They're going to take away his red as well. Maybe Rascal can burst it with BDD before it resets. There it is. Blabber is left with nothing.
And game 1 was close. It was back and forth. There were opportunities for C9. It came down to final objectives, but this game is a slaughter. GENG, 8K in the lead, double dragons. Damn close to a perfect game outside of a tower and a kill.
Yeah, and GENG read the play very well. They see the double TP coming in, and they just respond instantly.
Oh, that thought. Clid now kicking off, now immediately going back into Vulcan, trying to find these isolated picks. If they take down Vulcan, maybe they get a little bit more. Ruler now stepping forward. Easy now for GENG.
This is a stomp from GENG. C9 need to do something fast, because this Dragon Soul is going to go in around 6-7 minutes time, and GENG are just going to keep them in their base for the rest of the game.
There's no teleport on Rascal, so while they did lose Vulcan, they were fishing around for a possible pick there. Maybe they could make something happen and get some gold back, but it's just so dangerous to set up any sort of play for Cloud9. And with Baron coming onto the map pretty shortly here, it's going to be another tool for GENG to pull them across with. Since they got 2 towers on bottom side with that Rift Herald, it's wide open for split push.
2v2 top side. C9 not wanting to fully commit to the fight. They don't have the information they need to feel confident.
It's so easy for GENG just to return to bot side split push. Even without a teleport, they don't even have to worry about the cross-map play there from Cloud9 since they have such deep vision cover and so much control. Nobody can solo answer Rascal. So from the Cloud9 side, it has to be throw members at a pick somewhere, try and just throw bodies at the problem.
Yeah, indeed. Rascal is the biggest problem for C9 right now. I feel like he's in a control sideways. I think he can even 1v2 Perks and Fudge at this point.
I mean, it's a terrifying prospect. We're at the stage of the game where, short of absolute disaster for GENG, there are no winning choices for Cloud9. You will always be taking losing trades, but the right losing trades maybe can give you enough time to scale up later in the game, buy time to survive, to look for that team fight.
All right, let's change notes here then. I've heard tales of something about a 0-2 power spike. Where does that originate?
Perks comfort zone?
The Perks comfort zone? Yeah. We're on track. We've got Perks randomly dying. We've got Perks dying on side lane. We are
Oh, Blabber!
Z9 fan for a power spike, and this might just be it. Perks now going in. They've taken down BDD, and Kobe ask, and you shall receive.
And Dragon spawning now as well, so 40 seconds on BDD. He does have TP available when he respawns. Can C9 take away this Dragon? It looks like they have no setup towards the bot side, and they face check Rascal. They will die. So a pick's a pick, but GENG still on the map. I believe the most recent memory I can remember of Perks' comfort zone was against Fnatic, where they just reverse swept them.
It's going to take a lot. They're going to have to dig deep if they want to come back in this game, let alone this series. For now, GENG, even after that pick, remain comfortably in the driver's seat. 3 Dragons poised in 5 minutes to take the soul. Cloud9, you got to be strong enough to fight for that one in 5 minutes. That might just be the last chance you get.
Does Rascal have an Infinity Edge in base? I think, oh, no, he has Bloodthirster. He's unkillable.
It's so hard to kill. You mentioned the possibilities of 2v1ing as Rage. Those are real for Rascal here, and his teleport is coming back up, so that split push has so much more power behind it because there's no answer there from Cloud9. So sometimes you'll see people trailing the split pusher. Here's the Axe Effect replay where you can see them, no hesitation, into BDD, into the wall, able to get a little bit of gold back for themselves.
They need to do that again. They need to do it multiple times. Ruler dashes away. Tipo's coming in.
Side, they managed to catch out Sven before the fight even kicks off. Quick, gonna finish that one. Perks now going forward, but can Cloud9 get one back in return? Ruler still standing. Ruler running. He's just so fast. Fudge now locked up, denying him anything back in return, but Perks zooming forward. It is gonna finish off the 80 carry. BDD under the tower. Cloud9 fighting. They don't have the resources, but they're trying to make it work anyway. Perks goes golden. Wants to heal back up. Blabber trying to knock that back. Perks stepping forward onto BDD. Instead, we'll find Rakan. That's the double for Perks. Has he held on long enough? Clid now coming. Perks needs to make it out, needs to hightail. Slowly but surely, GENG winning this fight. They've just got too much of a lead for Cloud9 to find it.
That is gonna be it. GENG are gonna wipe them off the map and take the Baron, Kadril.
Oh, it's an ace. 2 for 5. Perks tried his best on the backside. So many cool mechanical plays, but I think the MVP of that fight there is Clid. Singles out Sven before he can even join the fight, and then comes in and cleans up for GENG. That's gonna be a Baron, and I think, oh, C9, 3 minutes on the Infernal Soul. That's their last chance to fight.
Exactly. In late, I say late game situations, this is mid game situations where you have such a big lead. You know that your opponent will be looking around for these types of pick plays, and since they just picked BDD off here, and they have that deep ward through the jungle, they see Sven walking up, so Life and Clid picks him off on the roam, and the teleports come to answer.
Yeah, it's already a 4v5. Ruler actually lives through a lot of the burst, and then it turns into a 3v5. Perks actually miraculously takes down Ruler here with his flash, and then does take down another member straight afterwards, so they at least get 2 kills for themselves, but there's just too much firepower. They're just hitting them with their wallets, and C9 have to run for the hills. Perks, like we said, 2 kills, but that's all they got.
Yeah, in those scenarios, since Cloud9 are so far behind, they have to try and take the opportunity, jump on it so they full commit to it. But with that super deep ward by the Wolves, they did see it trailing through, and good job there by GENG to recognize. Teleports defended, picking off Sven as he's walking up to it, defended, and now you're in this scenario where Baron buff allows them.
No flash BDD.
Again, isolated. Fudge over the wall, right under Ruler, trying to split up the team by BDD. Is he going to get knocked out from this one? For now, knocking 2 members away. Maybe they have the main advantage to kick things off, but Cloud9 just taking this opportunity to walk away because there's a Graves pushing in on the top side. Nobody can stop Rascal.
Yeah, Fudge finds the ultimate onto Ruler, but there is no damage follow-up. They can't kill him.
BDD's stopwatch was phenomenal. I think Blabber looked for the E, but he stopwatched before it connected, so he didn't get stunned. And by that time, C9 ran out of gas to actually take him down. So that's it. Fudge has no ultimate. Neither does Blabber, neither does Vulcan.
Locked up, kicked back. GENG marching down mid lane. Members of C9 will not be enough to stop them as Radical keeps the push up on the top side of the map. They want at least 2 inhibitors. They might just look for the end.
Yeah, they have a top wave coming in. The safe option is just to take this top in base and then set up for the soul, set up for the bot tier 3. Or they could look to end. The problem is Sven's alive in 20, and you don't want to throw this game away. If you do die and lose away the Infernal Soul, then it's just going to be more time for C9, but GENG are so far ahead, maybe they want to force it anyway.
The lead is massive. Theory insurmountable, maybe, just maybe. Fudge, no ultimate, no flash, though. Cloud9 just have to stand under their own towers and watch the game fall away from them. GENG poised on the cusp of match point. Can they bring it out? Can they get a little bit more? Vulcan taking down Blabber, trying to hold on. Perks has a stolen Syndrome, but it's just not going to be enough. Sven with 2 items will not be able to do anything in this exchange. Curtain calls come out as now GENG advance to match point.
Wow, what a statement game from GENG. I even thought their base there just played a little bit safe in the specified, but no, they can just run it down and end the game. C9, nothing is working right now.
Yeah, that one start to finish here was played so well by GENG. You mentioned at each step, the extra cooldown, they then make the play with it, build the minion wave, punish this Malphite, rotate through mid lane, and so many plays on mid set up by BDD Syndra. He lands the stun, Lit is there, they finish the kill, and while Ruler is the only world champion left on this organization, I'm so happy for BDD playing this well. You know, he has not gotten past the quarterfinals at Worlds. This would be so huge for him.
This would be massive.